Alright guys, so we are going to jump on this coil now. But first we got to get inside and change out this low pressure switch that's in there. That is what caused the compressor to fail in the first place. When this unit leaked refrigerant up in the attic at the coil, that low pressure switch didn't cut this unit off, and it locked this compressor up. So we're going to get inside and change that, and then I'll take you guys upstairs to get this coil wrapped up. Alright, so here's the guy right here. That's my low pressure switch. So I am going to have to basically fall into this unit upside down and put a backer wrench on that fitting down here and get this thing loosened up and change. So we got the old one out right here, and the only thing we're going to have to do is change one of these fittings on the end, and we'll throw some nylon down there, and we will get this pressure switch screwed in and get started on the ABAP coil. Alright guys, so we're back here. I have the warranty coils, and I'm gonna get these lines cut and get this coil pulled out. Hopefully we can just slide it right out of the top, and then we're just gonna replace the top cover with the new serial number and everything on it, and try to leave the rest of the case in place. But if we have to, we'll cut it off and retape it and put the new case on and everything else. But we're gonna try to work a little smarter first, but if it doesn't work out, I'm prepared to do whatever it takes here. And then I have another warranty coil for their other unit that has a leak in it, so I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that, but we're going to jump into this one first. Alright, so as you can see, I got the cover off, and this is going to be cake. Look how easy that comes up. So they definitely didn't glue it to the pan. I might need to unscrew it over here. Maybe not. It's possible it's screwed into the pan somewhere over there, but as the way it looks right now, this is going to come out smooth, and the other one's going to go in just as easy. Alright guys, so I got the coil cut free, and what we're going to do now is just lift this coil right out of here. I have the old lines. I like to zip tie them up out of my way. As you can see, we're looking pretty good down here. So we're going to get this guy out and make sure we got the right size coil to fit right in its place. Alright guys, we're here. I got the coil set in place, and I'm gonna have to get down here, make sure nothing's rubbing down here, but I want to get everything brazed in first, and we're gonna make sure this has some pressure. Perfect. She's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's gonna hold solid. I had to use quite a bit of silk gloss to get that gap filled in. I really just don't like pinching them. I just had problems in the past, and it kind of looks trashy. I think it looks worse than this does, but got a nice solid weld on there. Nothing got too hot. And I'm going to get this bulb attached once this cools down, and we are going to put it under a pressure test. So we got her under a pressure test now. We have it set right here for 153 psi. It has an allowable change of about 1 psi, which is at about 6%. So if this drops below 152.0, then we're going to have a failed notification here. But if it holds and doesn't drop 1 psi for the next 10 minutes, we are going to be passing. And we will start the evacuation at that point. So this is what I was talking about. We got a pass. It was fluctuating all around 152 psi, but it never dropped under. So we are pretty solid. And that could just happen because of a change in temperature around the unit, you know, or that sort of thing. Even the gauges, they might leak a little bit, but we're gonna get a vacuum pulled on this the best we can and go from there. Alright, so this is what I was talking about, guys. It's kind of a bummer, but I had to get one of my XSTs from my probes, get that on there so I could read microns, and then I had to use a low loss fitting over here to connect my Appion hose too. This is just the only way to do it with these units, because there's no way to even get a core tool on here, and if I do, there's no way to put the core back in, so it leaves me screwed. So this is the only way we have to do it. So despite the obstacles, it's still coming down pretty quick. It's only been about 2 minutes, and we're already down to 1200 microns, so we'll let this go probably another 10-15 minutes or so and see where we're at. Go button some stuff upstairs. Yeah, pulling through these low loss fittings and these Schrader cores is not ideal at all, especially being that we're pulling through the condenser too, because we did do the compressor swap out as well. So it's just it's gonna be tough to get it all the way down. We did pressurize the system with nitrogen, and it had leaked out, so I don't know how long it's been open to atmosphere, or if there was some residual nitrogen staying inside of the condenser, but it seems to be working itself out, so we'll see where we're at here in a couple minutes. Here's my finished product. I got the line all insulated, the bulb secured properly, and all wrapped up, and I put a little sheet metal over this hole that I cut and secured it. It's nice and flat. Just gonna throw a little bit of tape over this and tape over some of the gaps here. I'm not gonna go back and pookie everything again, just in case I need to get in here, but that's it. I'm gonna go outside and check on my vacuum after that and wrap it up. Alright guys, so it's been about 20 minutes or so. Looks like we're at about 341. So that's pretty good for this. The way I'm gonna do this, I think, is I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect 1/2-inch hose here. It has the low loss fitting on the end, so I won't lose my vacuum through the hose, in theory, and I can watch that micron gauge to see if I lose any of my vacuum, and I will just continue the vacuum on the 1/4-inch hose and then hook my gauges up here to break the vacuum with some refrigerant. So I think that's the best way to do this without losing my vacuum. So let's see what happens. Alright, so we did lose quite a bit of our vacuum just disconnecting this hose. Kind of crazy. You guys gotta keep that in mind. I guess the better way to do this would probably be to use my manifold, but I didn't really want to pull through my manifold because I know it'd take forever, so I'm going to wait for that to get back down to 500, and I'll get my gauges hooked up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I wanted to go over this real quick. So essentially what I did was I used my 1/2-inch hose and my 1/4-inch hose and pulled a nice deep vacuum down to about 200 microns. And in order to get this unit charged up, I had to remove my 1/2-inch hose. When I did that, even though it had the low loss fitting on it, it was still leaking, and this 1/4-inch hose could not pull it below 600. What I had to do was valve this hose off, shut the pump off, disconnect the entire 1/2-inch hose, and start my vacuum again. And when I did that, it dropped all the way down to about 100 microns. So I just valved it off, and we're holding around 300. So I think it's time to add some refrigerant. I purged the air out of my hoses. I have my low loss fittings on the end there, and I filled these hoses up with liquid refrigerant. So when I screwed that hose onto that Trader valve, it's just going to be liquid refrigerant going right into the suction line. And the reason I did the suction line is because when this unit comes on, all the oil from that refrigerant that goes into the suction side gets sucked right into the compressor, and it can lubricate the compressor. So I'm going to get this unit charged up and get this going. And it says 102 ounces, which is about 6.3 pounds. Alright guys, so we got it all charged up. She's running about 7 amps right now. It's pretty cool outside. It's our pressures. We got a good superheat, so we know our TXV is working. We got a good subcool. It's a little bit high, maybe a little bit overcharged, but we'll come take a look at this on a later date and remove any refrigerant if we have to. But she is chooching along now.